Howdy folks, good morning. How are we all doing? It is Sunday, January 30th, 2022. Today I'm actually visiting a new spot that I have never set foot upon until this morning. We are at the Lover's Key State Park. That's located in Lee County, specifically at Fort Myers Beach. Well, we're actually getting a little closer to Bonita Springs. So we're actually a bit further south right now. But the given occasion is I'm actually visiting a friend of mine. His name is Jake from State Farm. Funny enough. I wanted to bring him out here, but he had what you call a massive night yesterday. So I figured I'd let him get some more sleep. Meanwhile, while he's sleeping, I would go on this little trek. Yeah. Figured, not wake him up, let him keep sleeping, get what he needs. It's the best thing to do. But this particular state park, it was designated back in 1983, I believe. And actually, as a matter of fact, what you're seeing right here is not originally natural. These at one point were dredged to be used as canals for further development of homes. However, though, the state park system actually stepped in back in the early 80s, and they actually put a halt to the development process. Because this park encompasses a unique ecosystem known as something called a maritime hammock. So what I mean by that is, it has the same concept of a hardwood hammock, but the only difference is it has to do with the location. So you probably figure Lover's Key, we're actually really close to the Gulf right now. So it's essentially the same thing, just about, as a hardwood hammock, but a maritime hammock is a lot lower in elevation, and it falls just behind the beach dune development. But yeah, you can find all forms of wildlife, whether it be the gopher tortoise. You probably really won't see them right now because for those of you who've been down here, we've had a really chilly morning today. And actually, for the first time in a long time for a hike, I'm actually wearing a jacket. I may have become Floridified. Whoops. And not only that, but I'm also wearing jeans. So, man, I've kind of wussed out a little bit. Because, the temperature how it is right now is like nothing compared to the winters up in Ohio. Nice thing is, though, where I work, we do have some refrigerated coolers. So I haven't become fully wussed. Still get to have a little bit of exposure. Here we've actually got a unique plant called a Spanish Bayonet. This is actually considered to be a type of yucca, which essentially describes a root vegetable. And they call it that because when you actually look at the individual leaves, it resembles that of a bayonet. Good morning. So for those of you who aren't sure really what a bayonet is, it used to be used, during the Civil War, Revolutionary War, as another defensive weapon on a rifle. So typically a bayonet is described as a sword. So basically, muzzle loaders back during that time took a lot longer to reload. So when enemies were quickly approaching and the person didn't have a chance to reload, they would have to use their bayonet as another means of defense. So since it highly resembles a bayonet, they call it a Spanish bayonet. And that's also due to Spanish settlers making their way down here. And basically the name has stuck ever since. Yeah, going back on the subject of weather, it seems to be another concern that you have to look out for: falling iguanas. And you know what the crazy thing is? Much of the iguanas that are down here, they're actually non-native, as a matter of fact. Most of them, you know, were introduced through the pet trade, and they were just released into the wild. Or who knows, maybe some of them could have jumped on a ship and were a stowaway. Who knows? But I think a lot of it has to do with the pet trade. But essentially their body becomes immobile once it reaches temperatures below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. But since it is warming up a little bit, it may not be as large of an issue. But yeah, this place is quite extensive, actually. So I'm looking forward to it. Main beach area. But yeah, as I said, you'll see gopher tortoises, marsh rabbits, raccoons. You know, those are just some fellow homies. Because, you know, the homies also cohabitate with us. So that's why oftentimes, for instance, my mentor, one of my mentors anyways, Garrett, uses the term homie, you know, as a means of making our wildlife more relatable too, since we all essentially share the same space. Here we go. I mean, you're not going to see a gopher tortoise, but this is another burrow. This is probably the most burrows I've seen in one park so far. You know, that's clearly visible. So this is probably like my 4th or 5th one. So this is cool. It's alrighty, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this little snippet. No, it's a little longer, but yeah, like I said, you know, since I was already in the area, I'm like, might as well check it out, because I honestly don't know when I'll have another chance to come down here. All right, you guys, take care. Enjoy your Sunday, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.